Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Monday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. And today we're going to talk about stripping away your fear. Stripping away your fear. But before we get to that, I want to say thank you to my patrons for all your support. And we're going to be doing the draw, or we've done the draw for the free reading this month for one of my lucky patrons. And the winner of this month's reading is Jody Beauregard. Jody, I will be getting in touch with you. Congratulations on winning a free reading with me. I'm going to look forward to that time with you. That's going to be wonderful. So congratulations again. Thank you to all my patrons for your support. You'll also be receiving notification for the Patreon only live event meeting that's going to be happening on the 7th of this month, 7th of November at 7 p.m. in the evening. And again, I'm looking so forward to that. Stripping away your fear. It's a very important time in human collective unconsciousness. When you realize that we are, as a species, an integrated, unified field of consciousness, and that while we function as individual parts, we are still individual parts within a moving whole. So many of the emotions and thoughts and feelings that we are experiencing as a society collectively are often those that are other people's. We can pick up and tap into other people's and interpret often the energies of others as if it's our own. People that are ultra sensitive, people like schizophrenics and autistic children, can be highly sensitive to the emotions and energies of other people. And learning to be able to distinguish the difference between your emotions and the energies of others is really important. Now, we're living in a time, again, there is so much change and transformation going on in human collective unconsciousness, and it's being expressed in many different ways. Today's subject about stripping away your fear is really important. Fear is not who you are. Fear is not who you are. It is an energy that is related to our biology. Fear is an energy that's related to our biology, our survival mechanism. And your mind cannot distinguish between the mechanistic fears of your body and the fears that we make up in fantasies, like the stories and TVs and movie shows you see that talk about fear and distrust and anger and death and destruction, harmony. Those fears, your instinctual body can't distinguish between fantasy and reality. Only you have the capacity to make the distinction between your fear and who you are as a soul, as a being, as a consciousness. Good morning, everybody. And that's really an important distinction to be able to make. So John came in and said, it's important you learn how to strip away all your fear, William. And John, for those of you that don't know, John is my guardian angel. And John's been with me for a very, very long time. He first connected with me consciously when I was 20 years of age. And he's come back at different points. And now he's stronger than ever. He said this energy of fear is important that you make a distinction between the energy of fear and the nature of your being as a consciousness, as an awareness, that you do not have to hold on to fear because only from the physical perspective would you think you'd need to do so, and that would only be from the advantage point of trying to survive a potential threat. Now, this came up this morning during my meditation. When I was in meditation, I could feel this anxiousness in my body. And he said, that anxiousness is not you. If you scan your memory and you scan what's in your mind, you'll see that there's a relationship between the fear that you're feeling in the body and what's been going on in your mind, both at a conscious level and at the memory level, and on the consideration of future based on memory. So I began to scan and I looked back into my mind and I realized, wow, look at all the things that I've experienced in my life. And you should do the same. Look at all the things you've experienced in your life. How many of those things were exciting and dynamic and fun? How many of those things were fearful? Your mind cannot distinguish between fantasy and reality, and neither can your body. Only you can. So he said, you've got to let go of all your fear. You've got to literally strip it away. And I said, how do I strip it away? And he said, you become aware of it, you use your breath, and you release it from the body. You literally release your fear from your body. And so I did that for about 15 or so minutes, just breathing in, realizing that fear is a survival energy. It's hardwired into the consciousness of our DNA as a means for the body to survive as the consciousness evolves to the point that we're getting to now in this ascension movement. In this ascension movement, we as a species are coming to this place where we're surrendering or losing our subjectivity to the instinctual nature of the body. And the instinctual nature of the body is fighting to stay in control because it does not know how to function outside of what it understands based on fight, flight, and survival, because our body is based in survival. You, as a soul, are not based in survival. You are based in creating. Your capacity as a soul is you can create and innovate and do things different than biology in and of itself can do, which is why we see our civilization, cities popping up and all these new creations and innovations. And now we're going into space travel and all these things that are happening beyond body. You know, you look at what's happening in the space station. Astronauts lose about 1% of their bone density every month. They lose 1% of their bone density every month. Isn't that amazing? They're in a zero gravity environment. And in that zero gravity environment, the body doesn't need structure like bones to hold it up anymore. It doesn't need it. And the body literally starts to adapt to the environment. So the body doesn't need bones in a non-gravitational environment. So it doesn't keep what it doesn't need. In this dimension where we have fear, your body still believes it needs fear because there are physical things around you that can harm you, cars, trucks, planes, things can happen. But from the perspective of creation, John said, from the perspective of what you are as a being of creation, you do not need fear if you understand that you are a creator, that you are able to articulate thought and idea that transcends the normal survival mechanisms that fear generates in the forms of thoughts and actions. The need for self-preservation is unnecessary from the perspective of creation. It is only necessary from the perspective of believing you're just a body. Stripping away your fears means you begin to basically acknowledge that you are this divine, sentient, conscious being, able to induce and alter and change conditions of matter, time, and space deliberately, consciously, and intentionally, without subjectivity to the past, without subjectivity to the concerns of the body. And from that place, when you move into the realm of deliberate creation, you will find that the fears of your body will become unnecessary, for your body will suddenly recognize that you are able to assert a level of control over time, space, and matter that the body in and of itself cannot, right? And we see examples of that, yes. You know, when you look at people that are jumping off the sides of mountains into those squirrel suits, and they've trained their body knows that when they throw it off that cliff, the body knows for the most part that it's going to survive because they've conditioned the body, they've retrained the body to that reality that body can fly with that suit on, right? They've trained the body to a new reality of being. They've stripped the fear away from that aspect of their being. And he said, there is no way that you can deny that ability in any area. You can strip away your fear in any area of your life. You can articulate a level of creative expression that allows you to strip the fear away from your body so that you can act, think, be, and do any way you choose without fear being a factor in the process of creation. One of the challenges that we're facing today is fear is a factor in our process of creation. And because fear is a factor in our process of creation, we see a lot of what we're seeing today because of that. Fear is still a factor in our creative process. If fear is not a factor in your creative process, many of the measures you are taking in these days to try and protect yourselves are completely unnecessary when you recognize you can relinquish the fear of not being able to have enough, the fear of not being able to do certain things. When these fears are no longer existent, there is no need for unnecessary influence or undue coercion in any regard or respect when you understand a fearless state of being from a perspective of creation has no concern other than the process of creation. In this time of ascension, many of you are beginning to realize that you are these creator beings, that fear and all of its children have no sway nor ability to interfere with your creative process. You are essentially free in the recognition of what you are as a creator, not believing that you are just a body and mind, for that will simply relegate you to being subjective to the instinctual inclinations of the body, which are very limiting and very disturbing to the soul. But you are all free, and this is the time of freedom. This is time for you to be free now. This is not time for you to be imprisoned by your fears anymore, but liberated by your creation. Your ability to deliberately and intentionally create is unmatched by any other species on this planet. You must learn to strip away your fears. Yes, very interesting. One of the processes that we utilize in stripping away fear is our breathing. Our breath work is so important to literally put the body in a fearless state. Like when you are stimulated by something that causes fear, the body can go into a state of tension or anxiety. The body will go into those states. And yet you, through your breathing, can literally relinquish or liberate yourself and your body from that energy of fear. And imagine being in any situation and being able to let the fear go, to literally just let the fear go from your body, from your mind, from your awareness, to just let it go and to be able to function from a fearless consciousness, Wonderful. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Shortcuts. It's been an amazing few days with the whole ascension and flow that's been happening, and there's more to come. This next few days, there's going to be another large wave of ascension energies coming to the planet, and like what was said last week, really important to keep your body electrically charged by drinking proper water, keeping good electrolytes in the system. Lemon juice is really great. A little bit more healthy salts in your diet, not processed salts, natural salts like Himalayan, but keep your electrical energy high. Very important. Good morning, Drusilla. Good morning, Marigold. Good morning, Khan. Hello, Angela. Good morning. Wow, wonderful. Question from Vertical Connection. I see occasionally souls visiting me at night. Oh, yes. Wow. That person behind the curtain is someone that you had, yes. They're a little concerned about coming into your life now because of what happened in the other lifetime. Yes. Forgiveness. If you extend forgiveness to that one that you saw behind the curtain, if you can extend forgiveness to them, they'll reveal themselves more to you. But there is something that occurred in a previous lifetime between you two that makes them reluctant to really approach you. But a lot of you can expect more of these visitations, because as our vibrational frequency shifts from being strictly located to being just a single body, to recognizing that you are multidimensional, that your level of perception goes beyond the 5 physical senses, and you start to hear without those eyes, and hear without those ears, and see without those eyes. As you begin to awaken to these other senses that you have, more and more visitations, more and more experientiations like that are going to become the new normal. Yes, I understand. Let's go over here. I'm just trying to find the, there we go. What happens energetically when they take the time to cut cords? Great question. The whole thing about cords, you have to realize that in this physical dimension, most people can only perceive through the 5 physical senses. But when you formulate relationships with people, in this physical dimension, you actually establish a flow of energy between yourself and them. Energetically, there's an actual measurable flow of current between you and them. It's not visible to the physical senses, but it's there. When you start to liberate your connection to those individuals, you can pull the energy back. And literally, that's what I've done in the past. I literally sense or feel the connection of thought and emotion between me and that other individual. And I can literally draw that energy back into my own space. And I have a mantra that I've been taught to use whenever I want to release a cord or attachment to somebody in this physical dimension, and even in the non-physical dimensions. I always use the phrase, I return to you what is yours, and I take back from you what is mine with love and grace. Very important, if you're going to cut cords, to do it with love and grace, always. Return to them what is theirs, take back from them what is yours with love and grace, always, especially if it's a negative dynamic. A lot of you might notice when people leave the physical dimension in your life, those cords don't go away just because the physical body's gone. There's an actual party that's still trying to energetically connect to them in this dimension, which is why people think there's something missing, because you're trying to connect to them on this level, and they're not physically there, but they're energetically there. But you can always cut the cords. Just do that. Like, seriously, just go through that process. Question. I've been feeling strong energies. The properties. It can absolutely have something to do with source. But this is literally a time of incredible transformation for everyone if they so choose to elect to recognize their capability as a consciousness that is able to articulate deliberate changes in matter, time, and space, and the relationship that they have with the non-physical realms that can enable them to function as they are as a soul. Question from Adam. Can I ask Archangel Metatron if he can explain what and how the base energetic properties of a non-physical being causes it to exist as a certain type of spirit as compared to another? He's saying it's mostly in the capacity for the individual to focus their attention in a specific locale of energy to begin organizing molecular particles to condense or decompile in a particular point of time and space. Wherever you direct your focus, there's a process of organization that begins to happen in relationship to energy. The very nature of your attention, wherever it goes, begins to organize matter. It begins to organize plasma. It begins to organize subatomic particles. It even will organize what you would call invisible particles, but they're not really invisible. But wherever you should put your attention, you begin to organize conditions of experience, time, space, and matter in this physical realm, but also in the realms of thought, in the realms of what you would call the astral planes. The flow of energy always comes from the visible to the invisible, and from the invisible to the visible. There is always one going up and one coming down. The nature of your focus will determine whether or not the particles are going away from matter into undifferentiated energy or from undifferentiated energy into matter. Again, it depends primarily on your focus. Great question. Thank you, Adam. Question from Desiree. I've been feeling strong energy last night and wondering if somebody is sitting, visiting me that is always. When you start feeling these, when somebody else is coming in saying, sometimes it can also be you are calling in your own higher self. Your mind and body could be receiving your higher self in your case. But there are many that are going to be visited. Many of you are receiving many guests. Many of you are still trying to figure out why you cannot see them, but you can feel them. Do not concern yourself with that. Everything's going to be made very, very, very clear in this coming year. Everything's going to be made very clear. Those of you that have eyes that can see will see. And those of you who have ears that can hear will hear. All doubt will be cast aside for that which was hidden shall be revealed. Wow, thank you. Great question, Desiree. We have so many things happening right now. Question from Arista. Yeah, all those things, Arista, all those things, shame, guilt, depression, anxiety, they're all aspects of fear. And when you relinquish your subjectivity, this is the important thing. When you relinquish your subjectivity to the vibration of fear, you begin to release yourself from it. You begin to elevate above it to the position of observation. At the position of observation and awareness, you may choose to let go. The moment you become aware of a vibration, even in the act of separating or ending a relationship, any transition that would induce fear, the moment you are aware of the energy that you call fear, the choice to let go of it is yours. The choice to release it is yours. But recognizing that in relinquishing that fear, you will ascend to a different level of consciousness. When you're no longer subjective to fear, you move to a different state of being. And that different state of being may not be familiar to you. And that lack of familiarity, again, can stimulate a potential fear and draw you back down. To relinquish your fear consciously and deliberately, say, this is not who I am. This fear is not who I am. This anger is not who I am. This sadness is not who I am. That is not who you are. That body is not who you are. Those thoughts are not who you are. Who you are is the one that orchestrates conditions of transformation and change in conditions of matter by choice, by intent, by focus. But this awareness must be one that you deliberately and consciously choose to cultivate. Simply hearing us say to you that you are not that body, that your fears are not you, that your anger is not you, that your past is not you, is not enough. You yourself must come to this awareness and recognize these thoughts that I have are not who I am. This body is not who I am. These are mechanisms that I use in my creative process. And I can select, choose, alter, and change conditions of thought and energy in the form of emotion when I am consciously aware of that reality and electing to do so when I am. Yes. So it's really like becoming conscious. Like, yeah, he's saying become very conscious that most of you have thoughts that are not even yours. And if you believe that you are your thoughts, then you are subjective to them. And most of you don't even realize that that body is not who you are. It is the instrument that you use while you're articulating in your learning of creation here. You're here to learn that you create, that you are in the image and likeness of what you call that God or that great spirit or that infinite intelligence, that you are a creating consciousness that is working with substances that you call astral energy or thought, emotional energy, and biology. These are things that you are using as mediums for the process of articulating and mastering your capacity to create and articulate reality. And you are simply in just one aspect of that creative process right now, as many of you are in this schoolyard right now, many of you playing in this school, many of you at different levels. But please understand this process of deliberately recognizing and remembering who you are for the sake of being able to intentionally create conditions is merely, again, to refine your capabilities as a creator, to liberate yourself from subjectivity, from creation to creator. From the perspective of creator, you are absolutely free in the process of creation. From the perspective of a body and mind, you are quite imprisoned to the confines of what your body and your mind are as realities, which you too are partially responsible for creating. You know, many of you can recognize that you can walk down the street, or you can speak with that body. You can have the body do things, but very few of you recognize the fact that you are articulating matter to do your bidding. You are articulating matter to do as you wish it to do. How many of you are truly understanding the full implications of that? And do you believe that that implication of your relationship to matter is limited exclusively to the physical body that you can observe with your consciousness? This whole physical realm is the same medium as your body. And you think you have not the capacity to alter the conditions of matter, time, and space in a much broader and general capability. There is so much more to you than you realize. And yet many of you are beginning to realize that this time of awakening is just that, recognizing that you are here to create, that you are here to assert the act of creation in the manufacturing of experience in thought and matter. Your conditions of health, your conditions of disease, your conditions of joy, your conditions of sorrow are all aspects of this creative process that you can become deliberately conscious of and engaged in that process, or you remain subjective to the very creative process you're engaging in all the time. And again, this is a time of awakening. Your suffering will force you to grow and become conscious. And the greater you deny your consciousness, the greater your suffering will grow until you finally surrender your suffering. One way or another, you will get back to the place that you are, which is you are a creator. You cannot escape that. Yes, stop creating fear. Question from JC. I've been getting energy shaking. Yeah, guys, listen. Everyone, this ascension is a real thing. Your body can only register these ascension energies at the level it's at. Your thoughts can only register the information of this ascension at the level it's at. You as an awareness that can observe thought, that can observe body, only from the perspective of what you are as a being can you begin to deliberately and intentionally articulate changes in the conditions of thought and matter that you're experiencing as what you call your life. And this ascension process is that. You're waking up to the realization that there is this other reality. And your body and your mind will shift and change as these higher energies impinge upon it. And when you align yourself to these higher energies, you can utilize them creatively very differently. You know, we have a group called 1 Billion Strong. It's in the link below all my videos, 1 Billion Strong. It's a Facebook group where we meditate at least twice a day for 5 minutes. For 5 minutes, just generating a feeling and a vibrational field of love. And we've watched repeatedly, whenever that process is in place, we've watched how solar activity, which has been getting elevated as we move in toward what they call the grand solar minimum. And we've been watching how these solar flares are actually changing before they hit the planet, because the 1 Billion Strong movement is literally generating an intentional field of love surrounding the planet and filling the solar system and reaching out to the galactic space. That energy, that vibrational frequency of love, like fear, is an energy that alters and changes time, space, and matter. And so when you move into this vibrational field of love and you're intentionally generating this, you're going to organize and alter and change conditions of matter. No matter how big or small matter is, it's able to be altered and changed by quantum energies such as love, joy, right? They're quantum energies that alter matter versus fear, which is a very base physical survival energy. Very fascinating. And so these higher energies are coming in, and people, if you're feeling your body's going overwhelmed, relax, breathe, release the fear. Drink water. Drink lots of water now, guys, especially with these higher vibrational energies. The processing of the brain and the body is very different when the vibrational energies coming in are much higher. So take time each day to drink lots of water, keep the body properly hydrated, eat lots of living, live, vibrant, healthy foods, keep your life force energy in the body high, keep your thoughts clear, relinquish your fear. Your fear is not who you are. Your thoughts are not who you are. Your body's not who you are. They're mechanism, instrument that you as an awareness can alter and change. And the more you align your frequency to love, the more your body will assimilate, integrate, and evolve these energies. And so will you. Very exciting times. Anything else that you need to say today? Yeah, just strip away your fear. Stripping away, literally letting it go. When you perceive fear, any of its children, anger, guilt, shame, anger, literally release them. Use your breath to release your fear. Use your breath when you become aware of anxiety. Breathe and release. Slow, deep breathing. You want to train the body into a state that is non-fearful. And when the body's afraid, it does certain things. And when you breathe the body a certain way, you can alter and change the emotional flow that you're allowing through the body. And you can literally shift a state of energy from the body and from fear to a state of bliss or love in minutes, sometimes even seconds, when you understand the process of just releasing that energy of fear. And you can do that. You can do that from your thoughts. You can literally release thought forms of fear, and you can release the biology of fear just by altering the way the body breathes. Because when you alter the way the body breathes, it's you as a sentient being, as a soul, asserting authority or dominion over matter. That's what you're doing when you breathe. Even when you get up and turn on a light switch, you get a glass of water, you're asserting your authority over matter. You're directing matter. You're directing physical matter to do something for you as an awareness. And so you can relinquish your fear. Please spend time doing that. When you relinquish fear, then the integration of these higher vibrational energies will be much easier for you. In fact, you'll find yourself expanding and opening up much more rapidly with these higher frequencies coming in from the sun and the galactic center that are coming in right now. Yes, there are a lot of beings, a lot of people are encountering the Pleiadians right now. A lot of Pleiadians coming in right now that are working with us because they're in that high vibrational energy of love, and they're seeking for us to align to that, right? They can transmit the energy. It's like somebody can broadcast a song to you, but you have to be willing to listen. Stripping away your fear, relinquishing it from your body, relinquishing fear from your thoughts. And for some of you, this can be more difficult than others. You may have been living with fear for a long time. Your body may have been born in fear. It might have genetical predisposition to it. But once you begin training the body to just be still, be quiet, be calm, you start to deprogram the fear out of the body. And that's where some people struggle, is because they can't keep their body still. But you can. You can actually, no, stay still. Just stay still. Relax. And you literally can communicate to your body, it's okay, relax, be still. You're perfectly safe. Train the body into a fearless state so that you can start allowing in some of these higher ascension energies that will also start to correct and heal the body. Anyway, one other thing I want to share with you guys, for those of you that aren't aware, you can go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com. We start our mediumship program this Saturday, November the 6th at 10 a.m. You have until Sunday this week coming to register for the course. This is a 3-week course that's an introduction to mediumship, how to tap into your guides, your angels, how to open up your non-physical senses so you can actually begin to hear and make sense of the vibrational information that's beyond the 5 physical senses, but it's not beyond your ability to perceive it. We get so accustomed to seeing the world only through our bodies and eyes, and that we have become disconnected from these other senses that you have of clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. You need to open those senses up, especially now, so that you can begin to receive the guidance and support and nurturing that you need from these higher dimensional energies and beings that are all around us all of the time. Again, you just have to learn how to tune your station. So you can go to my website, check out all the details on the Mediumship 101 program, williammichaelforbes.com/courses, all the details there. You can register there today. I'll look forward to seeing some of you in the course. It's going to be a lot of fun. I want to say much love to everybody. Tell me what you think about what was said today. Leave your questions, your comments in the comment section below. Let us know what you think about what was said today. And I want to wish you all much love, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the Wednesday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and give the video a thumbs up as well. That helps with the algorithms, helps get more of them, it brings it up into a higher profile so more people can see it and hear it and get connected to this information as well. Really important. Much love, everybody. Have yourselves a wonderful and a joyful day, and I will see you on Wednesday at 10 a.m.